peeps? What is up? What's going on? Happy Wednesday. The Wednesday in the week of the week that this is. How y'all doing? 217 days into this thing we call the one-a-days. Quite a force you should have. I mean, like, I think it was always official before, but now I feel like you really probably have a substantial force, even if, hey, Abby, how you doing? Even if you build Pryfly, I mean, you are ready, you are substantial, and hopefully, I mean, like, I know that, again, I'd like to say this about earlier, but seriously, I'd like to say at this stage, I'm hoping you have found something of your own, and you've developed it. You know, I mean, that's what this is for, even if it is a flying bus. Yeah, 217 should have brought you a long way if you're keeping score. For those of us that are just building our own here, we should be developing. And I like to say I stalled on developing because I've been working that design. I'm going to make this show a little bit quicker than I normally do because I got in a little bit late. Having to put up my rain barrel and ate dinner kind of later than I normally did, but that's out of the way now, and here we are. And yeah, it's been a good day. But yeah, anyway, my design building, man, the one I showed you how to build last week, man, it's like, I'm still stuck on it. I don't know why I'm stuck on it. Shouldn't be stuck on it. And I don't know about you guys, but after looking at some of this, like, I just got done also kind of a spillway from last week. I've been updating the maps a little bit more, so they're like practically as up to date as I can make them. Doing good. They're like, if you look at them, you'll glean a lot of information I think that you have from us. And I see there's been some looks. That's good to see. Go check out the maps. It's cool. Yeah. They look a lot better even than they used to, perhaps even the last time you saw them. Because, dude, I just got done doing these changes over the weekend, so yeah, we've done a good thing there. We've done a good thing, and I'm trying to get a hold of our boys here to make sure we can lock down. Like, I need a base lockdown of knowledge from just about every one of our contractors. Make sure I know, like, where these places are. You know who you are. It's basically all of you. Myself included. I had to do one too, but, like, I mean, K, NASA's, OE, PAL, Missile. I need all y'all. Hell, Gent, I need all of y'all to, like, give me a little bit more updates on this last one. But basically, it's only one base, so yeah, we're doing pretty good. Yeah, but by all means, though, please, go check it out. It's good to see. It's there's like I said, it's a lot more fascinating now. I'd like to think it's a lot more fascinating now because I've put in good knowledge and with the aid of our individual members. So I just need to correct some things, basically. Anyway, kind of a segue into that too, talking about these new designs. Yeah, I'm still working with the ones we were building last week, so I'm kind of trapped on that. I did kind of skate away, something we didn't exactly make a gentleman's agreement on, but like me and NASA's were talking about this on the show, like basically when this started, and wanted to say that we got pretty far into, like, what he decided he was going to do a plane a month. We got pretty far into how we were going to build, and I mean, I was just like, I didn't want a set schedule. I just knew I wanted to work on some old designs and perfecting them and making new ones. Any plane counts, of course, but I've kind of, like, he mentioned something about shying away and, like, doing the cheater's way out and just building Thunderbolts for like 3 months because they're easy to make and get them out of the way and blah blah blah, and we didn't want to do that. And okay, yeah, I used a couple of these quote unquote tokens the past week and the past month, basically, because I'm jammed on this one. I don't want to build a huge test fleet of a plane that may not work. So I'm not always building 19.3 or 21-1 if that's what it turns out to be. So I've been lax and kind of laying back into building like a Diamant body, a Goblin body, a Quill body. So, but only cause, like I said, I just don't want my test fleet to get too big. And I should have put this on the roads because I was going to, on the stream down there, because I was going to say, like, one thing I wanted to tell you all about is like an idea for a tourney. It's a nice interceptor. Okay, see, that, thank you for telling me that, Abby, and that makes me know, like, okay, that, if that's what it's going to be, so be it, but I wasn't really expecting that. And I'm wondering also if that means we can translate out that out to something bigger. Because if it really is a plane that just goes straight, I wonder if it can be, if it's going to be like relegated to being, I mean, I don't need an interceptor and I don't need a Hatro trainer. So I'm wondering if that's going to be something that like I dedicate to perhaps another transport, if that's all it's going to be able to do is fly straight. Now, if it does, obviously when you look at the design, it's more narrow than it is short. You know, it's a long plane, stubby wings. So yeah, it's going to fly most interceptor like. You can possibly get a glide out of it if you, like, okay, I suggested, and I showed you on the show, put some flaps on it in the back. You can play with the wing design if you remember there, because if you have those wing folds, you can make it like wide in the back or narrow in the back, and give it different areas of flap. But also the key thing is, and I mentioned this before, is you might have to trim the nose. I almost highly recommend trimming the nose, because if you don't trim the nose, you're probably going to get what you're talking about, just an interceptor flight out of it. And yeah, it looks like it could fill that role, but that's not what I was foreseeing out of it. However, seriously speaking, if that's what it's relegated to, I can probably... Oh, I just had a killer idea. What I am missing is the lead-in large trainer. And lead-in large trainer, obviously the training aircraft can fly any damn way you want them to. So I already have upsized Valkyrie. Maybe it can be that trainer, instead of having Zephyr do it, and I could retire finally once and for all the wind cutter design. Because right now I have Zephyr doing that, and it's still the last of the wind cutters. That's an interesting proposition. I'll probably have to build another one of those in the meantime. I know, you want that Nova Hybrid. I know, it's coming. I still want to know what you mean by the hybrid, though. You want me to put some of that plastic in like we did at the hybrid planes back in the show from back in the day. I can understand that. We can probably get some of that down in there. Oh, okay, so basing, let me get into this real quick, because I really wanted to mention this. And like I said, I'll probably cut the show a little bit shorter than I normally do. Plus, I've got ideas. So, what link? Did you put a link up there, Abby? Or are you mentioning the map? So, the bases. Somebody asked me a question during the week about how we discuss these. Like, what do we do about the bases and everything like that? Yeah. Of course I will. Just not right yet. Hold on. What this is. The bases, in case you like, okay, you can have as many as you want. And it goes from the extreme, which something I noticed after doing the maps and then updating the installation sheets. You can go from all you used to take into basically only having one active base, one reserve base, like the ones you go to or the one you live at. There's nothing wrong with that. And then there's like the other extreme end, which I have found out by doing the maps, doing the installations. NASA's, he's actually overtaken me in the amounts, I believe. I really didn't do the counts, but looking at it, it's like, wow, he's got a lot of light blue on that map. So, but you can go and like what we like to do is just to remind ourselves of every place we've ever lived. I mean, maybe you haven't lived in many places, but we've been military brats. We moved around a lot. So I just like to use them as addresses that we've been. And I mean, like, multiple places, maybe you don't need too many illustrations. So maybe you do, whatever. I like having the bases. I think it's cool having the fin codes and stuff like that. So I always did that. And I mean, maybe I would close like almost all of mine. If we had any more than like 50 people, if we had more than 50 members or something like that, I'd very seriously consider it, because I wouldn't want too many clashes. But I'd still keep at least a base per state, for various reasons, or at least the bigger bases I lived a longer time at. I just said at. Oops. Anyway, the bases though, a short bullet point we like to reiterate again. Basically, what we do is we consider it a base. You have the station, you have a reserve base, you have an active duty base. Stations are basically where you've just gone for like an afternoon, where you go to work. You don't live there. You don't spend the night there. You don't live there. Because you eat your meals at work, so technically, but no. You don't spend like 48 consecutive hours. So the reserve base, the stations are where you just spend time, be it an afternoon, be it multiple afternoons, be it your job. If you can fly, if you can build, that's usually a key to making it a station. Doesn't matter how long of a duration, like from an hour, like maybe you went there for a purpose of flying. Maybe not. Doesn't matter. Reserve bases, usually we kind of like to consider that anywhere from 36 hours up to 6 days. You'll have heard us talk about this. This is just a reiteration so you understand how we do the bases here. So like if you spent the weekend at your grandma's house, you know what I mean? Or you spent a vacation in a hotel in Calgary, you spent a week there. That's a reserve base, like the hotel, especially if you fly. Especially if you fly and build. I mean, like, just staying there can constitute your base, okay? Like, if you had visited on a hotel, and you like, maybe you went with an SO and all y'all did was, like, get it on all weekend, okay? Or all week. That's fine. But again, for the purposes of our stuff, since sometimes you don't get a chance to expand as often as you'd like, that may be all you need, okay? So you don't need it. You don't need to build a plane. You don't need to fly a plane there. You use whatever, like, basically whatever parameters you set for yourself. We just like to say, like, to follow our guidelines, it's like 36 hours to 6 days. Anything after 6 days, and we like to call that cumulative too. And I'll show you what I mean by that when leading to this. Anything over 6 days, meaning you moved into a house, an apartment, or whatever, you stayed there for longer than 6 days, 2 weeks, a month, a year, years, that's an active duty base. But it goes beyond that. What I'd like to point out is that grandmother's house, right, that we were talking about. Maybe, what's up, NASA? There you are. I didn't think you'd be up. Basically, if you go to grandma's house repeatedly, yeah, it's a little tricky if you go to the same hotel, because that happens, but sometimes it's like, damn it, it's a hotel. You really don't want to make it active. I can't blame you. I wouldn't do it. But if you go to grandma's house repeatedly, grandma's house, like if you go again and again and again, then you may actually want to consider the fact that it's going active duty. If it's something you repeatedly go to, you can count it as that. So that's what I mean by cumulative. You spend like 5 weekends in a total of a month or whatever like that there, you may want to, because you keep revisiting it, that's fine. But again, any one of this is totally up to you. This is just how we do it. These are our parameters. It's like, wait, it's active already? That's got to be the fastest activity ever, especially for you, my friend. I usually don't make them active that quickly. You mean you've flown there already? I mean, again, it's just like it's funny. I was just mentioning that. I mean, okay, it's up to you, but like normally I kind of wait till I fly. That's why, like, even my active date here wasn't until like, when was it? August or something? I mean, I moved in. Dude, my active date is a month off from when I established, but no, but Bill, yeah, because we're doing the 1 a days. Okay, no, yeah, that's cool. That counts too. That's just as good, if not better. So. Well, house, I get it, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, you count one, do you count the other? So, But any way you want to do it. Robert, what's going on, bro? There you are. Yeah, we started a little late. Sorry. I was trying. I was contemplating. I failed. But we did it. We're in. We're good. So 6/16. What's the name of it? You got a name? I don't anticipate you probably know. Maybe what you're calling it. Like I don't mean mascot. I mean like what's basing there. I know. I'm just like, I don't even know if I'll keep that in mind. Hell, I'll write it down on this sheet right here, right now. But like, I mean, you got a name for the base? You got anything you want me to go? You don't know what you're stationing there, I'm pretty sure. So we'll just go the 6/16th on NASA's 6/16th. This is my note sheet that I brought out. So on May 3rd, MY521. All right. So yeah, we'll get not yet. Okay, that's fine. I'll just keep that down so I know, and I'm going to keep my note sheet because I've got notes here. You'll get the rest of it there, obviously. So, that's what we're talking about, people. Is like that's how you build these bases we're talking about. He knows he's going to live there, so it is definitely going to be an active duty base. He hasn't even stayed there, a week yet, but it's an active duty base because he knows it's a house he's going to live. So, this is another one of those qualifications we're talking about. And like to get into that too, I mean, obviously to do the other stuff, closing is really easy. Basically you're just shuttering it. And like what you do, like as IVPAC members, we put squadrons in there, or in the reserves case, we put battalions in there because they're in regiments or brigades. It took me a long time to figure that out. I knew I wanted to use those. So that's how we do those. But anyway, that's how we differentiate, so there's not a whole bunch of wings and units and squadrons. No, you didn't. You didn't set one... There's not a hangar. You didn't build a hangar, brah. You know what I mean? Contractors, man, because if the government was to do it, man, dude, you'd still be waiting if it was the government. Yeah, but the weather is much nicer. Probably a little chilly. This is cool, but you've been up here in a chilly May before, so you know the deal. Anyway. So closing, I wanted to get into that though because I'm actually thinking about considering closing the bases. Not too many. Actually, it's just a couple reserve wings, and I indicated this on the map. And again, shuttering bases is totally up to you guys whenever you want to do it, and just say like, I don't want that one there no more. But again, it's like, yeah, right. Again, little cool, but ain't it pretty? That sky, dude. Seriously. I mean, everything when it's new is pretty, but sometimes it gets old. Then you look at something else, you go, man, that's pretty. Well, just like everything you see in life, every new food, every new house, every new land, every new girl, every new car, every new boy. Doesn't matter. They're all cool when you first see them, but after a while, they're like, okay. So, new to somebody else, but old to somebody else. So, whatever. Anyway, cool. That's good. Yeah. It's May. It's May. So, I know I cut my arm on a damn gutter put in my freaking rain barrel a little while ago. I had to put the diverter in. Yeah. It was like, damn it. But I wanted to get that damn thing in because we missed the rain over this weekend. I was like, shit, it would have been good for the rain barrel. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, closing. Okay, so you start the base, and like Mark's going on here about NASA. NASA's going on here. Like when you start it, you know it's going to be active duty. You could decide whatever the hell you want to station there, but you always consider where you're at. Like if you're coming back to a place, if you're there for the first time, do you think you're going to move around? Do you think you're going to stay? Do you think you're going to stay for a long time? Do you think you stay the rest of your life? If you do, you want to like, okay, again, if it's you go to some place and you make the base and it's just like there for it's active duty, you may want to like divulge. OAE is a good example. He put like 13 squadrons in his one base. It covers just about everything he's got. This is a good idea. Especially if you don't think you're going to move, or you're going to pack up and move and make only one base active the entire time, a la OAE. If you don't think you're going to do that, if you know ahead of time, like me and NASA's here, like, okay, well, he might not have thought he was going to come back to Wisconsin, but he did. He's already got a base here. So, I mean, he's already got a base, actually, 2 in Minnesota, 1 here, 2nd in Wisconsin. So, between the 4 major groups that we deal with here in IVPAC, which is the bombers, the fighters, the strikers, and the airlifters, he now has each one base in this area that covers all 4 and can do all 4 things. But see, when you first came up here, and y'all can go through this, so stop. So what you do is, like, when you first come to any new area and you get your first house, you get your first apartment, be it yours or like when you're a kid, you live with your parents there or whatever, you open it up, you establish the base. If you don't think you're going to go anywhere, you might want to OAE it and put like all of your nuts in a barrel. You know, have all your airlifters, bombers, fighters, strikers in one place. And then see what happens is you can either, again, OAE it, close it, and move it somewhere else, or you can do like what me and Mark and most of the rest of the boys have a tendency to do, separate them. So like maybe you decide, you know, like, okay, you move down a street, move to the other side of town, move to another town in the same state. You open up a base there, maybe you'll bring all the big birds over there. So your airlifters and bombers can come over, but your fighters and strikers can stay. You still have wings, but now you're dispersed. And now when you get to like, and see, so that's how you keep doing it. You don't have to close, but you can close. Or you can diverge even more, and again, NASA's here in 4th one in the area, and he can have one of each in each spot, so it's covered. He is actually the king of staying in one area and moving around like 8 times, so he's got like states with like 18 different, so it's a little bit different. You're not really, you don't really consider how many times you may move, but, and in which case, this is what we're talking about when it comes to closing. You may move around, same place, live in an apartment for 6 months here, 3 months there, 9 months there, and then get like, I don't know, 5 wings instantly, but the same base. And then, wow, super saturated. Maybe you want to close them. Maybe you like keeping them. It doesn't really matter, but again, up to you. Just wait, Abby, you got a channel? And you posted a Sears flight? That's cool. I gotta check that out, bro. Where's that at? Dude, I'm going. You're at your final base. It's ironic you say that, because I mean, just because of you moving around as much as you have, you know, so it's cool to say. So like, but closing, if you do close, you could pack up the squadrons, quote unquote pack up. You can pack up the squadrons, the regiments that you have there, or excuse me, the battalions that you have there. And then like, you have them kind of like in this pool. And then like, if you decide that you're going to move, you can always use the same pool of squadrons and bring them back to wherever you're going next. If you close that base. I mean, it could be a base that you went to. Again, if you go OAE style, you wouldn't have to worry about it. But if you do our style, where you've got like 8, say you got 30 bases everywhere, okay? You decide there's one in Texas you just don't want anymore because it's like, I didn't stay long. Really doesn't matter to me. So you close it. So now in IVPAC, we got a little bit of a situation because we number, all of our squadrons are numbered sequentially. All of them, no matter who they belong to. So like they're numbered chronologically when they enter the Corps. So, like, when you close a base, like, say, from the 90s, okay, maybe 99, you close a base back then. I'll give you an example of the 484th Fighter Group that I have at Shaw, okay, and close them. There's 2 squadrons there. They'll go into the pool. Now, those squadrons can be reused basically as anything. It'd be really cool if they can come back as the exact same squadrons that they left as, in which case they're like a fighter squadron. They're 2 fighter squadrons because it's, I think it's a control and a patrol fighter, all right? So they can come, they're in there. I don't remember which ones they are. I think it's like the 186th and 187th. But anyway, say they are. You close them, they're in the pool. Now, if I open the next base, I can put them in there as fighters, or I can change their purpose, or anybody else that opens one in between time could grab them out of the pool and use them. So they have the 186th and 187th because they're the next numbers. I want to keep the chronological numbers active. So it doesn't matter who and when. If they're in the pool and they're low, they need to get used. See what I'm saying? So like if NASA's there were to close one of his Quantico wings, which he was been talking about, the numbers of squadrons that were in there would go into this pool. But since he opened up a new base, those can come back out and go into the new base. See what I'm saying? It's semi-complicated, but once it happens, you understand, like, oh, yeah, but maybe you can follow along. But that's how we do it, so. I know, dude. I know. Moving does suck. And the more shit you get, the worse it is. Trust me when I say this. When the kids leave, you may want to consider moving again. So I wouldn't say final just yet. It's because of how much shit you got to move with kids. When you don't have to move kids anymore, you may be like, I wouldn't mind my own island. You know what I'm saying? So never say never. That's all I'm saying. Just never say never. It'd be cool to have a base somewhere, off Coronado maybe or something like that. But anyway. It's raining outside? Yeah, I know. Problem. Yeah, Roberts is the good shit, man. Seriously, Roberts chat. Dude, have you made anything since the Black Edition? Thought that was cool, bro. So anyway, so yeah, you can close. You could it's coming out, I think. Sweet. Anyway, yeah, I got a chance to fly. I haven't got a chance to fly recently because I'm literally spending my time folding these damn designs. I'm hoping something comes of this. And I got another one in the works. If I turn this one that I've got right here into 21 dash, well, the one that we were working on, 21-1. If this one comes out, this is 21-2. I've only built one. It was a dream. Drew it up a little bit. I thought it was on the sheet. I had a drawing of it, and I was like, fuck it. Actually, I stopped drawing, and then I went into building it, and I built it, and I flew it in here. So stage 1 of the R&D is already done. Speaking of which, let me illustrate on this real quick too, because I wanted to say this. I'll probably have big news on my channel with this Nova freaking build that Abby wants. Abby, I'm not gonna have that one on here. I need that on my channel, bro. I'm sorry, but I gotta have it on my channel. I can't do it here. I got it ready for you, but anyway, still being myself, I'm gonna have some news for this. But anyway, that new design, I'm gonna have to build 3 or more. Actually, I'm gonna have to play with it because I don't like where it's at. Probably, if you guys haven't built too many 19-1s or 19-3s and 21-1s like we were talking about last week, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me, because I need some reviews on these damn things. I want to see how they look, and if they've been sucking for y'all as much as they've been sucking for me, I may kind of depart. But I should say, if it turns out to be it's 21-1, I'm probably going to forget about 21-1. 19.3 I'll probably use because 19.3 was hype. So, and the Valkyrie thing, oh man, Abby's telling me about his turning in interceptor is really going to throw a monkey in my wrench of plans. I wanted to get on one thing I did want to discuss, and I should have put it down here on the little talk about this week because I really did want to talk about it. Was okay, I might want to wait till Mark gets in on it because what I was going to talk about was how to run your own tourney on this. Doing a tournament, because I wanted to give you a little advice on how to do it. You don't need to bring, in our case, maybe, we've got a lot of the same planes, a lot of examples, right? Like, as Abby's talking about Cirrus. I've got a bunch of Cirrus. I've got a bunch of everything. If you guys remember my video I posted a couple months back of the factory here, yeah, I've got a bunch of every fighter, a bunch of every aircraft, which... Well, I mean, I just like having to do. And yes, I'm paring down. But the thing is, I will keep good examples of the ones that I have. Recommended you do the same. You should definitely, if one flies good or one flies like you foresee it, you should definitely build more of them and then keep all the ones that fly best, of course. But more than that, if you're going to do a tournament, you could call it a tourney, you can call it a tournament. If you're going to do a fly-off, yeah, because it spins, it spins because the anhedrals, it's got a huge tail, but it lacks the fuselage. It's almost a North, what we call the North, the no rear fuselage, because it all goes to the upright fin. but it does have an upright fin. But the anhedrils are so small also. I've played with it a lot. I've turned the anhedrils, some of you guys might call them winglets, but the flip down tips of the wings, I flip them up in some cases to try to get that plane to work. I've done a lot of things. I've put an actual fuselage on it after taking it off. You can enlarge the winglets, you can enlarge the anhedrils, what have you. But again, play with it. By all means, play with it. Alter the design. Build more, alter the design. See if you can get that damn thing to work. Because so far what I've done is not got it to work. But yeah, it's doing that because, well, first of all, I don't think that's a plane you could throw with, like, you can't baseball throw it. You can't throw it as hard as you can. You got to kind of give it a medium throw. And then, like I said, it's a little counterproductive in its flight regime entirely because it has no rear fuselage. It's got smaller anhedrils because there's only a certain limit of anhedrils you can put into it before you're really beginning to take away from the wing. I have not tried add-on anhedrils or winglets to it yet. That might be a route to go. And that might literally be a route to go. We'll have to see. I could possibly do that with the next design. I haven't tried it yet. So, but again, you're going to have to work it to get all that stuff out. But also, it sounds like yours, if you're saying it's an interceptor that spins like that, you really probably should cut a little bit more out of the nose because it sounds like there's a lot of weight up there. That's where your problems are probably stemming from for the Valkyrie. Anyway, no, it's not a flying wing. You remember, it's the one we built last week. So it's got that really huge upright fin. It's got the really huge upright fin, and it's got just little wings, you know? They're stubby. So, I'm a kid. I said, oh, there it is. Okay, I was going to say, I don't even have it. This thing. Remember this we had last week? Yeah, that's the Valkyrie. That's my Valkyrie. And you see, I've put some severe flaps onto it. We taped it here or whatever, and mine, if you didn't build yours like mine came out, it's got this, it's weird. Mine came out and like pretty straight. This is normally straighter than they normally come out, so there's a little bit more wing to this one than on average, but my nose is still heavy. This thing does fly straight, and it glides appreciably, but it's still, like, so I wasn't worried too much about making anhedrils that were going to stick. It's just, it's a little tricky when it comes to getting it to do anything other than fly straight. And I've trimmed a bunch of the nose off because the nose just got downright heavy. So for having this long, that heavy of a nose, and this stubby of a wing, if you don't want it to intercept, you got to do something to that. And I had to up the flaps. But now it does glide a bit. So I've never actually usually had one with this straight of a wing. This is it's making it a little bit, yeah, I know. Here's another one that I have on hand, okay? You see the width difference. This is a little bit more standard Valkyrie. But this is another one that I've added. Now, this one's funny. I cut some nose off, but I've added a staple to it. So, and this one, actually, as you can see, I put fuselage back into this one in an effort to try to get this thing to work. Did it? No, not really. But I still got these flaps. And I don't have the T-tail. But I've also actually made a fold in here to make some rudder. So, I mean, again, notice the anhedrils are really small, especially when compared to these. They're really small. So, like, do what you can. See what you can get out of it. A lot of times, like, these two both have the fold on the top, go to the bottom of the secondary part of the wing. I usually like to flip that. Sometimes it's on the other side. But they seem to like this version better. But anyway, by all means, keep trying. Try that design. See what you come up with, along with ND19 and ND21. Because I need to know what the hell to do with these birds. Okay, I'm getting distracted. The tourney. If you want an idea on how to... Yeah, well, because R2... I haven't seen pictures of it, but like I'm going by what I've seen from... I think you had a video of RR6, but 7 and 8, and they seem to be getting a little bit more broader, a little bit more... wingy, a little bit more lifting body. So I'm assuming that like it probably started out way more narrow. So I'm assuming that. So I'm like, yeah, I can see where it would probably have that problem. Yeah. It kind of looks like a Phase 2. Yes, it really does. And I used to build a Phase 2 that actually had that fold, that step in the wing. But, yeah, it sucked. So I stopped. Anyway, the tourney. To give you a little like advice on how to start it, because I'm gonna have to do my own. And NASA's was doing his version. Like, okay, he built the brackets, so he knows which planes are gonna pair. You saw what I was saying. I've got a bunch of different planes. You don't have to take out like every version of your plane to compare it. It's good for the law of averages, and by all means, if you have the time, I mean, I'm sure you could. If you've got the place, you could. I'm saying, like, what you do is you wheedle them out. You do, like, basically you're playing games for your tourney, okay? It's really sounds like pre-flights. But you do your first flights, and, like, okay, if you've got 40 of one design, you guys probably don't suffer from this problem, but if you've got 40 of one design, you got 40 examples, you want to weed them out to the best ones, the typical ones, all right? You're going to want to throw a bunch of them and get an idea of what they're doing, especially if you have in your mind or you know what they're doing. I mean, if you throw a Valkyrie, if you throw a Javelin, if you throw a Thunderbolt, you know it's going to be an interceptor. That's fine. But, like, if you know one of your gliders is going to glide so far and good each time, you just, like, take the 20 out there, take the 40 out there, fly short range. Don't throw them to the maximum of their ability so you have a chance of losing them, but do short range flights. Make sure they can get around your yard, for example, and when they fly good, you just, like, note on them or just note yourself in your flight log that I was asking you to keep, or on the calendar, or whatever, it doesn't matter, and then figure out which one's the 5 that fly the best, and then do that with each example that you're trying to do in your tourney to, like, see who's going head to head. In my case, I'm going to end up having to put Diamant and Fury and Cirrus and Banshee, all of these, Kestrel, Wyvern to a certain extent, Valkyrie to a certain extent, probably Arstea. I've got a lot that are going to have to hit up the in this tourney, and then I'm doing what I'm saying. So I've got the 5. I'll put these 5 together of each of these designs because they're the best flyers, the best examples of those flyers. They're the ones that'll go in the tourney, and then, like, I could just take those out to a bigger field somewhere where I won't be worried about losing them, fly them to the maximum extent of their ability, and see who's got the range. Then I'll know for sure, okay, this is this, this is this. In my mind's eye, this is how it's going to work. So, what link are you talking about? I don't see. Where's this link? Did you make something clickable? Oh, yeah, you did. There it is. My bad. Okay. My bad. I didn't see it. I see it now. Yeah. So you can do your tourney, like, of course, you could do your tourney any way you want to. I just recommend that because it's probably the best way to do it. I mean, why the hell not? So this is my note sheet for that, as a matter of fact, and that's why I have them. Like, okay, this is not pertinent to it, but these are all the aircraft that I have currently, and these are the roles, well, kind of broken down to what they do. So I was doing this basically because I had to figure out which planes of mine were going to be in the reserves, because right now I'm staggering through, like, Nova's in the reserves, but in its newest type, I don't know. It may be better than the reserves. And Wyvern's been really good, but I'm also thinking, like, age versus timing versus, I don't know. Anyway, there's going to be some news coming out of here. I'll probably have to post this on the magazine. Check out our online magazine. I'm probably going to end up, like, updating it with, like, some news from my corporation here very soon, including my name change. And I'll post these up on my channel this Friday or next Friday as they come about. I'm hoping next Friday I will have some genuine news on this front, because I'm hoping within the next 7 days, between now, next Wednesday and Friday, I will have some of these fly-offs done so I can get an idea of what these planes are going to do. Ideally, I'd like to dedicate a Saturday to the short-range flights, then the Sunday to the all-range flights, and see how they're going to turn out. But as you saw in my factory rundown, I got a lot of planes to go through. It may take a couple weekends. Might turn this into an exercise. Who knows? We'll see. But, wait a minute. So, the Nova Hybrid is basically the same design with just a little bit added. Or are you talking about... Wait a minute. Abby, are you talking about the hybrid models that Robert brought out? I want to get this straight, because Like, I've shown the hybrid planes, but I don't think I have ever actually made Nova into a hybrid yet. That one, those two, well, okay, it was 3. But those 3 planes that I had that were hybrids, 2 of them were experimental models. So, I don't think I had any frontliners of mine actually going into that phase. Or, excuse me, that stage. I use the word stage a lot because I have phases. So, as a plane, see where disadvantages? Anywho, yeah. You know the supernova is just a bigger nova, right? That's all it is. It's just a bigger nova. There was a time in the very recent past, this was around circa 2008, that I had a problem figuring out what plane that was, and like, okay, what plane I build now I call the Kestrel was the supernova, until I realized that like the building process, this was thanks to me and NASA's talking, figuring out that like, okay, so like the plane that was Nova is still Nova, of course. At the plane that was, dude, what the fuck? The plane that was Supernova, after talking with Mark, finding out the design phases and stuff like that, is like, okay, I don't build this like either one of them. I build it with them in mind, but I don't build it like, I don't expect to get either of the other designs out of them. And point of fact, between Javelin, Nova, and the Kestrel, they're built quite similar. They have very similar specs and dimensions. None of them fly the same. And they're only built similar. They're not built exactly the same with different folds to make them look differently. So, Kestrel is what became of it. But it went through the phase of like, it used to be called Supernova because I thought it was just an advanced Nova. Which is funny because Nova is more advanced than it is. It's a shorter range. Then it was the Novaland because I thought it was like a hybrid. It built like, oh, is that what you're talking about? Oh my God. Abby, is that what you're talking about? Oh my God. Dude, sorry. I had an Alzheimer's moment there. I didn't really consider that is probably the Nova hybrid because it is the Nova hybrid. We called it the Novaland briefly because it was a combination, a hybrid of the Javelin and the Nova. Until I realized, no, this is a different plane. It does different things. So then I called it the Kestrel. So now it is the Kestrel. And yeah, okay, I got you now. I mean, and again, like when we're talking ranges, we're talking that like Nova obviously flies good enough to be a control fighter. In its current guise, it didn't used to. It started out as like basically a, what you'd call the BAI, the Battlefield Air Interdictor, like short to medium range bird. And then like, dude, why don't I have any on hand? But then Kestrels. Wait, does that? No, that's a damn goblin. Where's this Kestrel? Oh my God. Whoa, Jesus. So I call it that. They don't fly like that. They don't fly like that. And then basically it took me that long to figure the shit out. Now I figured it out, and I was like, now I know what I've got. I also know I don't have any of these puppies on hand. Where the hell are they? But I also realize this could be what Avi's talking about when he talks about hybrids, because it is, oh, there's one. I do have one on hand. I have the first one on hand. These. Under the sheet doesn't look that good. That is a Kestrel. Used to be the Novaland. That used to be the Supernova. Ooh, something done crushed its fin. So yeah, that's, yeah. I mean, some of the early ones still have the old code, considering that they were actually going to be considered a Nova, and they're not. So, that's a Kestrel. That's the Nova hybrid. I mean, I think that's what Avi's talking about. Now that I realize it. Sorry. Stupid. Kestrel, not dude. Like the bird. It's a stupid name, but yeah. That one. It's very popular in some pictures because this thing's flights. I don't have a clip. I can show you a clip. This thing's flights are really good. It's like, again, short to medium range because it'll come back to you. They're cool. And there's a lot of room to play with them. But it's kind of sleek and everything. They pose really good because they'll come back to you, and then they got some pretty good loiter times. But I don't have any clips. I'll put some clips up on these before, like maybe I'll show them on like the Friday show, because I'm not ready for this right yet. They do make good poses, I think. No, it was a Nova pose that we used on the show for the longest time. But Kestrels do pose good. The green one, which I believe was 40. Wait a minute, 19 was used in a couple of the exercises before, so Kestrels get some pretty good time aloft. That front wing there, that front canard is like really good for flights like that. So yeah, it does. Yeah, it's got, yeah, the canards are super huge and not as close coupled. So this plane is quite unpredictable for what it looks like. I mean, because again, it's thin, it's longer, it's stubby, but because of the canards, it doubles the wing area, so it's got some really decent flights. And again, very unpredictable when it flies, so you can't really tell. You don't want to expect what it's supposed to do next, because it rocks, it stalls a little bit. I don't mind the stalls. Normally we try to build them, get away from that, but it does a pretty good job, so I keep it in there. Yeah. Oh, I've got a bunch of pics of this thing in flight. Not as many as Nova's. I try, like every time I go fly, I try to bring a camera, not only for video, but for like stills. So I do have some pretty good still images. I haven't put up a slideshow. I'm sorry, I would put that up there. Wait a minute, I might just have a little something. I might just have a little something you can see. Yeah, I'm trying to get it. Yeah, because again, they take a pretty good picture. They're not, because they can fly back at you. If you watch the video, like on my channel, there's a pretty good video of one coming in pretty close. Because they will loiter back at you. So, it can happen, of course. Let me see if this works. That's a shot of one in flight. I mean, it's just posing there. It looks like it's just hovering, So it's pretty cool. That was a factory fresh one at the time. You notice that there's no code. And I didn't even bother to take the time to trim the tape, which is a little dirty diagonal piece hanging off the nose. But it's just one of them. Again, it takes a pretty picture. I'd show you others. I just don't know if they're going to come out very good because they're usually quite small. But I do have some, especially that one. I know, right? They take, like I said, they take good shots because they come back to you. So if you have the screen, I don't know if you're watching this on a screen at home or in a handheld or whatever, you could tell. There's a lot of the pictures I take and then the ones I keep are usually greater shots, of course. So you see, they're just nice pictures. But damn it, I gotta find this one. Like, I don't know how they're gonna turn out because I don't know how you guys are watching. If you're watching on a phone or not. Not that. This one here. This shot here, that's also a Kestrel. And again, depending on how you're seeing it, it's a cute little dot. But it's a great shot because that is a Kestrel, and it looks like it's getting way down range. Probably not. Some of them fly really good, so it doesn't. They're better. They're better than that, I think. I know. That one's kind of high. That one's probably about like. I think during that flight it was about 30 feet up. Not Like, I mean, glide altitude. The typical glide altitude of the Kestrel is usually somewhere around 20 feet. It's not overly high. Not like a phase, which usually stays around 40. And it doesn't top out. I mean, no, none of my planes top out over the Javelin, but that's built that way on purpose, you know, because Javelin is like, okay, how hard can you throw? So... And the picture is a little deceptive because, I mean, I'm using like I think I was using the 50 mil lens, or I was using probably my 1855 zoom and left back at 18, which is why it's a cute little dot. But it gives you, you know, at 18 mil, there's like a full sky, so you don't get a chance to see. You're typically not up as close as you normally would be, you know. So like an Eiffel would be a lot different than, say, a regular flight. You know what I mean? You'll know it when you see it. Like, I mean, if you were out there, you'd be like, it's not that bad. And you definitely couldn't jump up and grab it. But it's not like she's like way up in the stratosphere. I mean, come on now. Paper planes or whatever. But like, I've got another one of Nova. I can show you this one too. For an example, like I do have the ones I've got so many pictures. I got more pictures than I got videos. Because I like taking the stills. This is a shot of Nova when Nova was... This is in its close range, guys, and it came close by. So it did basically what the Kestrel was doing. This thing's probably only about 10 feet, 12 feet overhead. I mean, I don't think you could have jumped up and got her, but she was close. But the camera brings it a little bit closer than that. But again, they're not like, you know... None of those aircraft that I have are actually supposed to be flown too terribly high. Ironically enough, I don't have too many pictures of Javelin for that reason, because Javelin is like a straight up, straight down, and it completes the flight so fast there's almost never any time to take a picture. There's a shit ton of pictures of them on the ground, but I mean, I can't really show... You wouldn't get a chance to appreciate how many Javelin pictures turn out good and then not far away. A Javelin is almost always a cute little dot, because it's just so far away by the time it gets... I'm trying to see if I can even show you any of them. Forgive me. I know I'm a little distracted, but you guys usually don't get a chance to see pictures of them, so I'm hoping to get a good shot for you here so you can get an idea. Javelins have the fewest amount of videos and the fewest amount of pictures for that reason. They're just impossible to capture unless they're on the ground. And they look really good on the ground, so it's taken often. Here's a good one. 470. Yeah, I keep a library of these on hand in a folder dedicated to IVPAC, so I have these. And again, like, I've got them to go through and ready to show. It's just, I'm hoping you guys can like see this one here. Okay, now when you asked the question about this one, Robert, if you do see this, if you can tell it's a dot, this one is high up because Javelin's already on the descent rather, and it's still, she's coming down. And that's why I don't like, that's another reason why I don't like taking pictures of her, because it's hard as hell to get her in while she's going up, and then she's going down, and that's usually the most unflattering shot of the plane. So I don't like to do it. But that Javelin's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 feet up. Somewhere. They peak about as hard as I can throw. Again, which is, I could probably throw a baseball higher than the plane, of course, because it's a baseball. But Javelins get up there. I know that because they've usually topped around some of the taller pine trees down south. And I don't mean like the super talls. I can't get her to 150. I don't think she's ever been to 100, but she'll definitely get 80. So I do that. But I normally find that the still pics of the videos, like, I mean, capturing them is one thing. You know what I mean? It's like, it's more of a challenge to me as a photographer to try to get them on the fly. So I enjoy that. Plus the fact that, like, working the zooms and all. I mean, I do a little bit of both. Don't get me wrong. I'll take still photos. I'll take vid clips. So either way, I mean, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I've lost a few that way. Not, I don't mean like literally lost either. Like people always tell me of these really cool flights they've had about the ones that have captured a thermal and they've genuinely lost their plane. And Mark could tell you this too. NASA's like we've genuinely had, um, like there's been few planes. The Venom, most famously from the fly-in we had at La Follette, which everybody was there to witness. Me, Missile, NASA's, and KIA were all out there, amongst a few others. And we both laughed like we were going insane because that plane just kept on flying. He was just going to chase it down when it kept staying above his head and it just kept going. It covered that whole damn park. But like we've had these before. It's the same one I told you about the famous April 6, 89 flight from Faro when he lost his stealth one on over my neighbor's roof in the backyard that we never found. That one caught a thermal. That one was not part of the flight because every other one on our flight was way shorter than that day. 172 that garnered an awesome flight. Same thing. Any one of them that usually gets the flight of the flight award, the flight trophy, usually has that happen to them. He had like NASA's also remembers one from back at his Brookwood Air Base where we had one take off and it caught a thermal above our heads. We watched it literally like it was only 5 feet above our heads, and all of a sudden it like it had a pilot and it started climbing gently, and we were like, dude! And it went from we thought it was going to land in the street in front of his house to clearing his neighbor's roof and going into the backyard. And luckily, they had no trees, so we found that plane. That was an amazing flight. So we've had this situation before. They're really, really cool. It is rare. I don't think I've caught them on video. I mean, I've caught some amazing flights on video and possibly even more amazing on still pictures, but I haven't caught. I don't think I've caught literally a single shot of like okay. NASA's has seen this one. You may have seen this one before. There's a pic. This is kind of famous, and I use this one all the time to kind of like brand us a little bit. This is one of my vampires. This was an amazing shot. This one, Vampire is a short-range plane for me. It's a dive bomber. But this little thing was coming in back towards me near the ground. And it just looked so bloody cool if you see this thing. This is like a non-standard Vampire that I use too. So it's got like the full-on strikes. The bihedrals, it's typical that you see there on the end of the wings. But the down strikes right there, that was a new addition to that one. There's only 3 built like that. But that thing made a great shot. So that one is very popular amongst my boys here that have seen that one. That's really cool. Yeah, that one was just coming back, and I'm like, I got to hit that one. So I keep a lot of shots that I have that are like that. They're way more amazing. You know. I mean, it's pictures like that you see when you go out and fly your planes. That's why you fly the planes. That is why every time I get that shot, that is why I'm like, okay, this is what I do this for. You know, every single one of those. And I've got enough of those that, like, that's another Vampire shot. But it same thing. It's shots like that I'm like, yes. You know, yes. They're really cool. I've got a lot of shitty shots, but I got a lot of I know, right? I know. I mean, I've got a lot of shitty shots, but I've got just beautiful shots of like that. Because I'm probably going to make again an IVPAC calendar and save the best shots for the IVPAC calendar. So if any of you guys, that's why I always say, like, I'm looking for these shots like this. And like, if you want to put them in a calendar, I would love to gather us together and, like, have these dedicated shots of our planes together in the calendar, you know? A POW week, an OBby week, SIL week, stuff like that. So sometimes these planes that hover like this, they make better shots than the ones that glide out. And it could be argued because obviously they always talk, you'll hear any of the guys talk about it, the phases are iconic. So most phase flights are like, you know, beautiful backdrops, long way away from you, because they're not that high up. They're just like, you know, 80 to 100 yards away from you and still 30 feet airborne. So it's been the plane to beat for a long time. People like watching it fly away, fly down range, you know, and yeah, they're really good about that. I've got a ton of phase 3 shots because phase 3 stay airborne long enough to get those shots. And again, those are the ones that, like, those take my breath away. Those are like, okay. And that's why I haven't retired that damn thing either. It's old and it's going to stay forever because, dude, I can't get enough of that thing going down range and showing everybody up. Like, every time it does it, I'm like, okay. Yeah. Beat that, because you can't. This is a phase 3 shot. She's like semi-overhead, but probably about 50 feet up and going into her glide, so. It is. That's, yeah, exactly, all of that. Now, Avi, I can't give you a Venom tutorial because Venom is one of the ones I'm really evaluating right now. It's like the NG has gone back into T&E stage. Venom is as old as Banshee. I built it in 2008, but it got lost. Like most of NASA's planes got mysteriously lost, and we still don't know the answers to, which is why he's lost some planes to time eternate. So I called it the Venom NG because I knew basically how it looked, and I knew what it was supposed to fly like. So NG is as close as I can get. I just know it's not really the true thing, and I can't tell you how to build it. I don't know how to build it. I've got 4 different working viable versions of that plane, including the amazing one that again caught a thermal and was like the star of the show. However, none of them are built the same, and I don't know. I haven't refined the process enough. I don't know exactly how I'm doing that bird. It's nothing special of a plane. It's just a delicate balance of its weights that make it glide as good as it does. So, when I know how to build that one, yeah. That one I've never done because normally I'm really good about tracking them. I've never actually gone to that route, although I am very fine-tooth comb about, like, if we go out in the yard, it's one thing. But, like, seriously, if we take our planes out, NASA's a KIA missile, they can attest to this. Faro and Gent can attest to this. If we go out and you take a box or 2 or whatever, there will be, like, a literal, like, I will get one plane in hand. This always happens, and this is one of the things I use in the reserves. We call the rescue regiments. Everybody should have one. I highly recommend it. That's what they're for. It's not your best planes. It's usually a junkie plane, but it is a current active duty plane. They're just technically in their reserves. Maybe they're one that spent the night outside, they got a little wet, but they can still fly. All you're doing, the rescue planes are literally the planes that you take along in a situation like at the end of the night, it's getting dark, you're missing a plane. You do a field walk, like a FOD walk, and make sure you have all the planes you took out and flew. I'm fine-tooth comb about this. Every time we go fly, I will walk the perimeter to make sure we've got every plane back. And usually with another plane in hand. Usually it's one of them. It's from the rescue regiment because it'll be something that, like, I can throw on the ground anywhere, so I have, like, a point of reference for your eye to see, like, this is what the plane looks like. This is what I'm looking for, in case you lost it. You throw it straight into the ground, nose in. It's like if you have a javelin that might nose in, it might be a little bit harder to find. So you throw one of these in, and your eye will get, like, your brain and your eye will mesh it. Like, oh, I'm looking for a little white flash like this. That's what they're there for. That's what the rescues are for. I didn't think it was a good idea. I can't remember who. I think Faro brought that idea up. And ever since then, I was like, this is valid. This is a really good idea. So this is why I consider the rescue regiments in the reserves vital. You should definitely have at least one. And always have, it's like a slightly junky plane, but never trash it. Keep it. You can even model it, make it brighter in color. Just something so your brain and your eye get an idea in the middle of it. Like, you could be in a huge field, but you have something that when you throw it, you keep track of it, you know where it is, and then like, that's what I'm looking for. It helps you not lose them. I never thought it was crucial until I did that shit, and I've recovered my fair share of what planes that were destined to be lost otherwise. I literally almost stepped on one before I realized I was looking at one because I threw a rescue bird. It's really cool. The white color Nova? That's not a Nova. That's the hybrid. That's the Kestrel. So you want me to messenger you those? I can get you a few shots. Some of those are actually available on our. I can't remember actually. Did I put them? I can't remember. I don't think my full portfolio is uploaded to our site, the IVPAC site at Google. But yeah, I can message you some of those. I'll show you the ones that I was actually going to put to the calendar. I've also got a couple I call the contest shots. These are the ones where there's a plane visible in the shot. It's just try to find it. These are really cool. I don't know if you ever seen, like, I don't know. These, I'm going to show you one of these pictures. These are really cool. They're always in the picture, but you got to find them in the picture. I think there's a couple of instances where the plane is actually not in the picture, and you got to try to figure out like where it's supposed, like where it would have been, or I don't know. I actually just like say, okay, where is this plane? Because it should be in there. The hell did it go? There's a couple of these good shots. I don't remember. Bloody hell, dude. Okay, this one here. This will be the last picture I transition to for you, because you got the idea. You said these are some pretty good pictures, but this one right here. If you're not looking at it at a small screen, there's a plane in this picture. This is actually one of the easier ones to find, but trying to find it. Like, I mean, there's a couple of them we've taken where like the plane is even more impossible than that, and there's some when I suspect it's not even in the shot, but it's in there. And again, that one's easier, but damn it, man. It's like, we call these contest shots, and I take those every once in a while for fun. And some of them, like, okay, I have to admit, I'm not entirely sure that they're really in the shot. But, well, it made for good picture taking, so I did it. I've got a pretty good, I've got a nice, crisp, good shot, I think, of each plane, at least once. Even some of, like, the harder ones would be Banshee and Javelin. Banshee because it flies so quick. And then Javelin because it flies so damn high. But I've typically got each one of them in some good shot somewhere, somehow. So. Yeah, you can't find. Yeah, I know. It's a little tougher. I definitely recommend blowing it up if you can, but like, it's. Or what? It's tough, but it's a little. This is the easier one, believe it or not. I was gonna look for one in particular. I'm not gonna put it up here because like it's bloody ridiculous. I don't even think it's mine. I think it's actually one of Mark's. I freaking think it's ridiculous. Yeah, it is one of Mark's. Yeah, this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this. I could do that. Yeah. But if you can't find that one, I'm not trying to diss on you, but if you can't find that one's relatively easy. Relatively, okay? I use the term, but there's oh, Jesus. Okay, this is ridiculous. I'll do one more. This one is really stupid. Because again, I don't know how quickly you can blow this up, or like how big you guys can blow this up. It's not in my contest shots. This is actually a spider. Bloody hell, I have such a problem figuring out where the damn thing is. I have a problem finding it. So like trying to, do you see that? This one's a little bit easier, but this isn't what I'm trying to... Oh, You know what? I realized something. When it's that big, it's easier to see. that shot is fairly large, so it's easy to like tell which one that is. But anywho, you get the idea. I think that wasn't the one I thought 8832 was. Yeah, 8832 was. I'm sorry. This is insane here. But see, again, it's different because the picture is so big. Like, I didn't realize at the time when you guys are seeing it at that size how much easier it makes it to find that plane. Like this one here, this is the one I was talking about. Like, there's a plane in that shot. And it didn't help that we made this one in particular. This is a spider. We made it out of what we call the coffee news. You'll have heard us talk about this. So it's like a camouflage color. It's not white, which is probably what makes it impossible to find. But like when you were looking for this one, it's like, oh my God, where the hell is this plane? Okay, yeah, they're hard. And the black spot, well, yeah, kind of, sort of. I thought about that, Robert. Like, okay, but again, we're kind of combat related. I don't know if I want my plane that easy to find. And besides that, also, I will note, and I have lost these pictures a long time ago, but the pictures I actually took with my 35mm camera, which wasn't digital back in the day. I still take 35mm, but the one that I actually covered in foil, that one was almost just as hard to find as ones that were like made out of clear coat. Because, okay, yeah, they glinted off the light, so if you tracked them, you could find them. But let me tell you, if they glided overhead, you had a problem. Because they blend right into the background so well. Like, they reflect just enough. They're like damn near impossible to find. If they didn't catch the sun and caught the reflection of a blue sky, they blend right in. They were really bad. I almost didn't like that. But again, what I was saying was like, dude, I kind of like having them camouflaged. I know it makes it, we've never lost one due to that, okay? So you see that picture, that one you're looking for it, like in the picture it's hard to find. But I mean, when the flight was over, we had it. We didn't lose that bird. So it's literally just a matter of, I think I like the camouflage. So I'm not going to drop the camouflage. No, I can't do that. Only the interceptors get to have gaudy, colorful stuff. Which is usually where I make the javelins are hot pink or bright yellow or something like that. I mean, I'll do that with any plane, but basically the javelins are those, because like the interceptor, it doesn't matter. There's nothing. I don't want them. They are not stealthy. They are decidedly, I'm going to attack your ass. I'm going to attack your plane. Bam. So that their job is to be seen and try to get away from them. Actually, in the wooded picture, that wooded picture that I show you, it was actually in the left side. Wait, I'll show it to you again. The spider in that shot is like, okay, the coffee news is a color of brown. It's not a green, it's a brown. So, first of all, you're kind of looking to the left. It's actually in the center, just to the left of center. It's the Y-looking shape because it's heading away from you. That's another reason why it's really hard to see. It's heading slightly down and to the left, and you're getting a rear shot. So you could just make out the trailing edge of the wing, the rudder, and the anhedrals. If you like blow it up, you can tell that it actually has there's the shadowing under the wings. It's in that branch right at just a little bit higher where it makes the V, following the branch that goes up. It's right there. But I mean, if you didn't know, you couldn't see that. I mean, it took us forever to find that plane. The only reason I find it so easy is because I took a string of shots. This was like the fourth in a series of 7. So I followed the flight path and I could see that it went. But I mean, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know. The mirroring thing, does that work? Does that turn out pretty good? I wouldn't mind like seeing how that would translate out to a shot. I mean, again, probably like the foil, it probably turns out really good. I would imagine, right? So I can't show you how to build that one. That's NASA's bird, and actually that's a spider. He's already got that video up. Just so you got a better shot. This is the picture blown up to almost actual size, and it is directly in the middle, so you get a better idea of where it is. And again, like I can't highlight it for you, but that's it right there in the middle of that picture. And that weird looking Y shape right above the Y of the tree, that's a spider. It's dude, yeah. That I know that's like just one moment in time of that shot where it's invisible, but that really is like that's kind of cool. We can't. You couldn't have, you did see the plane when we were out there, so it was not lost. But yeah, we do good shots. I've got some good shots. I'll share some of some of those with you. You wanted to see them on like in Messenger. That's cool. You remember the one that we used to use in the show when we did the show? Like we had the little windows up, like we had like picture here, and then me and him down here. The picture was like one of these was this is the spider taken from one of those pictures. That's his Spider V4. Yeah, that's from that shot. That's from his picture, and it's like it's not centered because it was going too fast. Spiders travel really quick. That's his fighter bomber size. No, that's not his fighter bomber. It's bigger than that. But that's the that was part of that flight that was taken from that shot. I have some like that too. I don't, the flight shots are cool. So. A silver mirror. Yeah. Abby, just go to his channel. It's an earlier video he did, and he promises to redo all these videos because like his have gotten a little, I don't know what you would call them. He kind of calls them, he probably considers them amateurish, so he doesn't do, so he's going to redo these, but yeah. A silver mirror material, I can definitely see that because again, working like the foil does, it does make them damn near invisible. I can understand that. But that's okay. It's I'll put the here. That link is a link directly to him. It's on our channel. I link a bunch of paper airplane videos. You know this, but that's on his channel. That's how to build the spider. He's got a couple of his tutorials. I would definitely if you're gonna like build them anytime soon, I'd get them recently because he's probably gonna drop them while he upgrades them. But he'll still teach you how to build them. He's just going to upgrade the videos, which is what I'm trying to do. So I don't want to give you too much about how to build. I want it nice and formal. You know how it is. Anywho, we're running into the 1.5 hour mark, which is a little bit longer than I wanted. So yeah, by all means, please, the videos on there. Please get the ones that you built of mine. Let me know how they turn out. I'd love to know that. So get yours. Get more of mine. Your version of mine flying, and let me know how they turned out. Abby, thank you for telling me that. Robert, you still haven't got a chance to fly them, I guess. But you had popped in. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit later today, but you popped in later, so maybe I don't know if you did or not. Or if you could post a video of you flying mine, it'd be cool too. But it's not necessary. Just do what you got time for. We got so many planes to build, bro. I'll give you a messenger, though, and if you want some of those shots, I'll give you a couple of those shots. I do have a folder specifically called Calendar for the best-looking shots that are going in the calendar. I wouldn't make anybody buy that. But, I mean, like, if you chose to make your own calendar, I'd give you the shots, and you could just put them on there and stuff, because that's what I did. This was like 3 years ago, I think. Yeah, 2018. I went and had a calendar made with the best shots. So we can hope to do that again. Hey, who knows? Sell those shots, right? Yes, I will. I'll get the video up there. So, but again, you guys, test fly them for me, please. Again, you built them. If you built them, I'm not gonna be like one of them guys and say like, no, build my plane, check it out. No. If you built it, that's cool. I mean, I put the tutorial up. That's like yours. It's like if I get a chance to fly yours, I'll put them up there. But if you get a chance to fly mine, I'm definitely going to be curious, especially because the ones I gave you, I can't get them to work. So I'd be really interested if you guys can somehow put a rubber band hitch, taper them, or whatever it is you guys do. Whatever it is you guys do that makes them work. I'm just interested to know. But in the meantime, guys, thanks for stopping in. I want to get this one short, which I can't do because it's already an hour and a half. And I started a half hour late, and I apologize for that. But I'll be back on the right time next week. NASA's maybe back next week. He's getting the studio established. He has moved. He's in a new place. So I will definitely try to get the video up this Friday, Abby. I promise. I swear. It literally has been. Each Friday I've been called upon to do some damn thing. And you ask on Wednesday, and I've only got the 2 days to try to get the video together. And then I can't even do the video because it's been like, I get called to my sister's house. I get called to a friend's house to move something. Whatever it is. It's like, damn it, dude. That's why I haven't done a video. I mean, I would do a video on Friday just to tell you I can't do the build video because I wasn't even there, you know. So I'm not trying to lie. I'm not trying to, like, not get it out. I just haven't. Life, man. Life. But I should stop making promises I can't keep because life gets in the way. You just can't do things, you know. But it's not I don't forget. I just can't do it. So it is on the docket. It will be the next one I do. I just gotta have the time and I gotta get it right. So I think I've got the video ready. But I know me. I'm not gonna like it when I get it there. But anyway, okay. Get it to stop raining. Do your anti-rain dance. I mean, come on, man. It's May. We've broken out of winter. Well, hell, you guys in Georgia and Florida, y'all broke out of winter January. But, I mean, these are the rainy months. I get it. So we're about to breach into the good weather days. Please, by all means, guys, get some flights out there for us and post them up. I like to see pictures of your planes, not just mine, your planes. I'd love to see videos and pictures. So get out there and, guys, in the meantime, you know,